Good morning, I'm Alex, and it's Friday, June 20th. Today, consumers are still spending, but trading toward necessities and away from discretionary items, what that split means for your business. Small business capital investment hit a 17-year low, and supply chain disruptions are rising right as pre-tariff inventory buffers run out. 3 stories, 5 minutes, done. Retail spending is still growing. April showed a 4.9% year-over-year increase, and the National Retail Federation is projecting 4.4% growth for the full year 2026. For small businesses in retail and food service, those headline numbers look reassuring, but the composition of that spending tells a more cautious story. Deloitte's latest consumer pulse shows buyers trading down, concentrating purchases on necessities and pulling back on discretionary items. Higher gas prices in May and ongoing tariff-driven price increases are compressing what consumers will spend on anything that feels optional. For small businesses, this split matters more than the aggregate number. If you're in food, home services, healthcare, or anything consumers treat as non-discretionary, you're in relatively good shape. If you're in gifts, apparel, entertainment, or other discretionary categories, you may be winning on transaction volume while losing on average ticket size. Summer is typically a high-traffic period for consumer-facing businesses. The question heading into Q3 is whether higher prices hold customer counts steady or start pushing people toward cheaper alternatives. Big box stores buying used or cutting the category altogether. Run your unit economics. Volume times average ticket, week over week, for an early signal before the season tells you the answer through your bank account. Watch for the June retail sales report from the Census Bureau, typically released mid-July, for the first read on how consumers behaved through the summer kickoff. Small business capital spending is at its lowest point since March 2009. That's the NFIB's May reading. Only 16% of small business owners plan capital outlays in the next 6 months. The last time that number was this low, we were in the middle of the financial crisis. That's the current environment. The reasons are layered. SBA borrowing costs 9 to 11% right now. Tariff uncertainty, regulatory changes, and murky revenue visibility make long-term commitments feel risky. And cash flow is being squeezed from both ends, rising input costs and price-sensitive customers. The default posture becomes, wait. The question is whether waiting is a strategy or a drift. There's a real case for conservative capital spending when rates are elevated and uncertainty is high. But waiting without a plan means emerging from this cycle behind on equipment, technology, and capability. The most defensible capital investments right now are the ones with fast, clear paybacks, equipment that directly replaces a labor cost, technology that cuts measurable administrative time, a system upgrade that reduces error rates. Generic capacity expansion in uncertain demand conditions is where the risk actually concentrates. If you're deferring capital spending, make it an active decision. Know exactly what you're deferring, why, and what threshold changes the calculus. Watch the next NFIB report due in mid-July. If capital spending intent doesn't recover, it signals the freeze is extending into the second half of the year. Supply chain disruptions are rising right as pre-tariff inventory buffers run out. NFIB's May report shows 70% of small business owners say supply issues are affecting operations, up 6 points from April in a single month. The buffer story matters. Many importers spent 2024 and early 2025 stockpiling goods ahead of tariff increases. That stock is now depleted or close to it. Starting this summer, businesses that were ordering at pre-tariff prices face the full current cost environment for the first time. The 20 to 25% tariff rates that seemed abstract a year ago are showing up in actual purchase orders now. For product-based businesses, lead time is the operational lever that matters most in this environment. In a stable supply chain, you order based on historical run rates. In a disrupted one, you order earlier with buffer because shipment timing has become unreliable. That ties up more working capital in inventory, expensive when borrowing costs 9% or more. The action: calculate how many days of coverage you're holding for your top 10 SKUs at your current run rate. Anything under 60 days needs a reorder conversation with your supplier now, not when the usual trigger fires. Watch the NFIB June report in mid-July. If supply disruption numbers stay above 70% heading into late summer, the inventory crunch will show up in small business pricing data before the end of quarter 3. That's your Friday, June 20th briefing, and that's the week. I'm Alex. Go have a great weekend, and I'll be back Monday.